right, guys, happy Wednesday. We are going to take another look at comparing fractions. Today we will do it visually with models. So when we do that, the first thing that we need to do is, one, find out how many pieces of our fraction. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't want to give me my dot. 7, 8. All right, so we have something 8. I'm going to check over here and see if it's the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We also have 8. Okay. Now here, we're looking at the shaded part. Make sure that you check whether it's shaded or unshaded, because we've had it a few times where it switches back and forth, and that's tripped us up in the past. So now I've got the denominator for my fraction written. I'm going to go and I'm just going to take a look at how many of them are actually shaded in. So here I have 1, 2, 3. So this is 3/8. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5/8. So when we're doing this, we are looking for the fraction that is greater. 5 pieces out of 8 is having more than 3 pieces out of 8. More of this is shaded. And that is the same way that we want to look at that. Now let's move on to number 2. The first thing I notice about number 2 is that this is not cut into the same amount. This has fewer boxes than this one. So we're going to have to determine what's going on here. We have 1, 2, 3, ooh, that threw me off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we have 8 right here. So here we're comparing 6ths and 8ths. So this is going to feel a little tricky at first. Let's see how many are shaded. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5, 6. So almost the whole entire thing. We only have 1 empty space. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. So both the numerators are the same. Here we have 5 and here we have 5. The denominators are what's different. This is a candy bar that's being shared with 6 people. This is a candy bar that's being shared with 8 people. The more people you share it with, the smaller the pieces that you have to cut. So here they have gone and they have shared 5 out of 6 pieces. Only 1 piece of this candy bar remains. Here they've also shared 5 pieces, but 3 pieces of this candy bar remain. And what I notice is this one is almost gone. This one, there's still some chocolate left. So here they have shared or shaded the greater amount. All right, I'm going to take a look at my next one. Write the fraction for the shaded parts. Okay, we still want shaded. Circle the fraction that is less. We want the smaller fraction for this part. So they've switched up what we're doing on the directions here. All right, as always, count your parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So they both have 6. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 6 shaded. And here we have only 2 6 shaded. So we want the fraction that is less. This fraction is less. All right, on to the next one. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So our fraction is divided into fourths. 1, 2, and 3. So we have 1/4 shaded and 1/3 shaded. We are looking for the smaller amount that is shaded. Look at this shaded piece. It's pretty large. And then when we compare it to this piece, this is a smaller piece. We're looking for more unshaded than shaded. We are looking for less shaded portions. So when I compare these, I can see that this is the less or smaller fraction. All right, now we're on to some number lines. It says label the fractions 2/4 and 2/6. All right, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so here I've got 1/4 and 2/4, and here's 3/4. Now these are going vertically. Don't go next door and start labeling stuff. We're stick to number 5 here. There's a little wall of fractions that they cannot cross. These two number lines go together, and these two number lines go together. Okay, and we're looking for 2/6. So here's 1/6. Here's 2/6. My marker didn't write. 3/6. 4/6. And the last one is 5/6. Okay, so here's 2/4. And here is 2/6. I can see when I get to 2/4, I'm at that halfway point. And in fact, that lines up with 3/6. So I know that 2/6 is to the left of that, which means this number has to be smaller. I only have 2 out of 6 pieces, as opposed to 2 out of 4. If I have 2 out of 4, I have half of something. 2 out of 6, that's not half. That's less than half. All right, we're going to do the same thing for number 6. We're going to label 1/8 and 1/2. Okay, so here's 1/8. I'm going to only label the 1/8 because unfortunately, if I try to label everything else, all my numbers will run into each other. Now it's only asked me for the 1/8, so that's okay. And then 1/2. I want the fraction that is less. Well, this is kind of nice because that was very easy for us to see. As this is very close to 0, this is pretty far away from 0. All right. Draw a fraction, or excuse me, find a fraction that is less than 5/8. Draw a model to support your work. So I'm just going to do a number line because I find that a little bit easier than trying to draw two identical shapes. If you want to draw shapes because that works better for you, more power to you. Don't let me stand in your way. All right. Less than 5/8. So here's 0. Here's 1, divided in half. Now I have fourths. Now divide your fourths in half, and you have 8ths. And I'm looking for 5/8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. Here's 5/8. Let me put my dot there, and then I'm going to come back and label. That looks like a 48. There we go. 5/8, 6/8, and here we have 7/8. Okay, I'm looking for a fraction that is less than 5/8. So I can do one of two things. I can find a fraction that is also 8ths that is less than 5/8, or I can go and I can compare it to another fraction. I will show it both ways. So anything, let me change my color here for a minute. Anything that is on this side is less than 5/8. All of these are viable answer choices because 5/8 is greater than 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, or 4/8. Now, if I want to compare it using a different fraction, I can just take the really easy way and I can compare it to a half. Because I see that a half is less than 5/8. It lines up with 4/8. So I could say 1/2 is less than 5/8. Or I can pick something else and say 3/8 is less than 5/8. Either one of those work, whatever is more comfortable for you. All right, number 8, write a fraction that is greater than 3/6 and has a denominator of 6. So if I was going to write this out, here's my denominator of 6. It's greater than 3/6. Now, I look at this and I know if I make my numerator larger, I immediately have a greater fraction. So all I have to do is increase it by 1, and 4/6 is greater than 3/6. That's all that I have to do there. Alrighty guys, I will see you at our class mini meeting at 11:30.